Hey guys, come on in. So I'm not meal prepping today, and I did not want to leave you hanging and be like, what are you doing? Because I'm usually here every Monday doing a meal prep. And this week is supposed to be week 2 of the 5-week program that I follow, that I created and I follow. But I'm not doing week 2. Nope. I'm doing what I call Easy Week. And I can do Easy Week for one reason. This is why I meal prep. Right here, this week, this is why I do what I do, among other reasons. So when I do meal prep, I make 5 meals for the week. And you would think, how do you have leftovers? How do you have extra if you're only making 5 meals a week and there's 7 nights of dinners that you're going to need? So what I'll do is I will double, triple, quadruple the meals, and I end up with quite the stockpile in my freezer. And I want to show you what I'm talking about. So this is what a lot of what we're going to have for dinners this week. It's kind of heavy. Do you see this? This is just a dish bin that I bought from Walmart, and it fits perfectly in my side-by-side freezer. And what I'll do is, as I'm making the meals, as I'm doing the meal preps, I will take the extras and I'll freeze them flat. So they end up just like this, and they organize perfectly in this bin. And I've joked about it before, and I say, like, when I go to grab a meal from the freezer, it's like my library of books that I can just pick through. That's what it is. This is it right here. So these are all frozen solid right now, but these are going to be our dinners this week. And there's going to be a lot in here even for leftovers. So I'll show you about these in a second, but what I wanted to do is take this time, since I'm not doing the meal prep this week, is I want to take this time, I want to show you the tools that I use that make it go so much smoother. Okay, ready? This thing's so heavy. I'm going to set it right here and hope it doesn't fall. I've got a little table right here. Let's see. Okay. Don't fall. Okay, and I talk with my hands a lot, so I hope I don't knock it over. All right, let's get started. Tools you're going to need. You don't need anything super fancy. You don't need anything super expensive. You just need a couple things that you may even already have, or they're actually really easy to buy. So first thing, let me show you. This was my game changer right here. And you've probably seen me use these a lot as a meal prep on Mondays. These are my bag holders. These are like one of my favorite new tools that I found, and I just found them this year. I've been meal planning, meal prepping, oh my gosh, for years, since my kids were babies, and they're school age now. So I've been using these just for a couple of months, and I love them. They're so simple. You just stand up your gallon Ziploc bag right in here. They extend for the Ziploc that are gallon size, and they just hook right here in these clips, and then you can fill them so easily. So I got 3, and typically I only use 2 at a time, which is perfect. So, hey Melissa, sorry I meant to like your post. It's so funny, isn't it? Meal planning and meal prepping is hilarious. That's okay, no problem. So anyway, the bag holders. These are awesome, and they make the actual job of filling the bags and moving on to the next meal really quick and smooth. They're not even really expensive. They're a couple dollars each, and I found them on Amazon, and you can buy them as a 1-pack, 2-pack, 3-pack even, and I think I've even seen them as like a 10-pack. So if you're like super person, super mom, super woman, and you're going to be making like 10 at a time, here you go. Here's your tool. If you don't have these, you can still fill your bags with your blender. And what I used to do is I would just put a napkin or something in the bottom of my blender to cover the blade, and then I'd put the bag down in, and then try to fold it down over the edges of the blender and just pour your food down in. But these are so much easier. So if you're gonna start meal prepping and get really serious about it, definitely get these bags. They're so convenient. Now I've tried the bags that they make that stand up, and I think these work better. I don't want to say anything not nice about bags that stand up. So let's just say these work. For me, they work better. All right, so you're going to want some bag holders and a really inexpensive bin from the dish section in Walmart, which I think this thing was like maybe $2. And if you have a side-by-side freezer, this slides in perfectly. We also use one for recycling under our sink in our kitchen. It just fits right under the sink really easily. It's funny if you consider I meal plan and still ordered pizza today. Yes! Hey, sometimes it's exhausting. Sometimes it's just a lot of work and you got to order it out. I don't blame you. I've done it before. I feel you. But hey, if you've meal prepped, then you have stuff for tomorrow, right? Okay, next. You need your trash bowl. You need a trash bowl. It makes it so much easier when you're not running back and forth to the trash can 100 times. Just grab a bowl. You don't have to get the fancy one that Rachel Ray makes. And she says you need a garbage bowl. If you want it, knock your socks off. But I just use a regular bowl. Melissa, I planned but did not prep. That's why I'm here. Oh no. Okay, so you don't have food already prepped for tomorrow. Sorry about that. So I'm not meal prepping today because I have such a massive stockpile in my freezer, and I would send some to you if I could. I have such a massive stockpile that if I meal prep today, I would probably have to use a cooler on my deck in these freezing temperatures to store all the food because I don't have any more room. So this is really nice. After, I don't know, how many weeks has it been since Christmas? 5, maybe like 6 weeks. After I go through like one round of all of the meal prepping, I get what I call Easy Week. And I did Easy Week throughout Christmas where I didn't have to cook for the entire week. And it was beautiful. So this is one of those weeks. And I like it because it kind of coincides with a really crazy week with a lot going on. So I don't have to cook. But if you are not like me and you don't really care for cooking, this is awesome. But if you are like me and you still love to cook, then what you can do is, what I like to do, the weeks that I don't have to cook, is I'll use that time to make some extra desserts for dinner, some like maybe some extra fancier desserts instead of just, here's a cookie. And then also I'll use this time this week if I get a moment. I want to try, I have these 2 recipes I want to try I've never tried before. And so that's cool too. So you get just like a little extra window of time that if you want to get creative, you can. But dinner's already done. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, next. You're going to need something to put all this food in, right? So aside from the bags, I have containers. These I just got from IKEA. You can see spots from my dishwasher on them. These I just got from IKEA. They're fantastic, and I loved them so much. I went back and got another huge box of all of their containers. I use these for toppings or fillings, and they're just like the perfect size, perfect shape. I'll use this also for fillings, and I like that it's divided, and I can just put like, if I'm going to do like lettuce, tomato, onion, I can do that, and I'll take like 2 of these and I'll make one for dinner and one for lunch. So we'll have a toppings container for dinner, toppings container for lunch, and that way they stay fresh. I don't know if you've ever made like a dinner that has a lot of toppings that go on the side, and they end up like all kind of mashed together in the leftovers in the fridge. And then when you go to make it or reheat it the next day, you don't want to reheat the lettuce and the tomato and stuff like that. So I like to keep them separate, and it works really nicely, especially if I make 2, because then they're not disgusting the next time we go to eat them, right? Hey, Laura. Okay, so I'm going over all of my favorite tools for meal prep. And while I'm not going to be meal prepping all of our dinners this week because I have such a stockpile, I am going to be making one thing. One thing I am going to make. And I make this almost every week. And I could make even more of it and freeze it ahead of time, but I don't have room in my freezer. So one thing I'm gonna make is my bread. Hey Laura. Okay, so this is my bread. This is what I use for my bread. You guys, I've gotten so many questions about this thing. This is my Danish dough whisk. I always call it a Danish dough hook. It's a Danish dough whisk. And the number one question I get, which is my number one question when I first saw one, I think on an Instagram video, was, how is that? Is this like as bendy as a regular whisk? It's not, you guys. It's really hard. I could not, it's really hard. And this neck right here is really strong. So when I go to make the bread, I'll pull out this whisk because the bread dough that I use is really wet and it mixes so easily, so quickly. I also use this for waffles, pancakes, stuff like that. It's great. I love this thing. So the Danish dough whisk is another one of my tools that I use every week when I make my bread. I'll just stick that in there. Let's see if it'll hold. There we go. This is my bread container. Now I have, I think 4 or 5 of these. I'm not sure how many came in the set. I use 1 a week for bread, and then I'll use like 2 a week for our salads. These things are awesome. They're huge. I got them from, I think, BJ's or Costco a long time ago. They're 4 quarts, so they'll hold all of the bread that I'm gonna make for the week, and sometimes even 2 weeks. Melissa, do you have a deep freeze or just your fridge? We debated if a deep freeze would save us money. So I don't have a deep freezer. I wish I did, but I don't. We have our old refrigerator from our old house, and it's just a side-by-side refrigerator slash freezer, and it's in our garage, and that's just what I use. So if you can imagine, I really just have like that narrow freezer, and that's why these bins fit in there so perfectly. And I was thinking I would need more, but after I started with this, with freezing them flat and then standing them up in the bins, and I also took out the ice maker for the outside freezer because I don't need it out there, I have perfect amount of room. So I have, I think, like 3 of these bins full of meals, and then the pull-out tray in the bottom, you know, that comes with the freezer, I'll stuff like frozen veggies and bags and stuff in there, and it works perfectly. And then there's a very top shelf at the top, and there's only like this much room, and that is perfect for where I slide my lasagna. Perfect. So if you just have a side-by-side freezer, this will still work. It's great for meal prepping. I always get prepping and planning mixed. Oh, perfect. No, side-by-side is not bad. I'm telling you, it's not bad. Grab one of these dish bins or 2 dish bins from Walmart, but the secret is you've got to freeze these things flat. So I'll freeze them flat in my freezer in my kitchen first, and then I'll transfer them outside. But if you just have just the side by side, just give yourself like maybe that top shelf, you could just freeze it up there, and then when you remember to just come back, just take it back out and stand it up in the bin. And you'll save yourself lots of space this way too, and it won't get all like stuck and conformed in the grooves. You know how sometimes if you just lay a bag on the grooves, it'll get stuck when it freezes? This is perfect. Okay, so my bread bin. This thing has saved me so much. I used to use these a long time ago, and you can see the writing on here. I used to use these in my pantry before I got the big glass containers that I have out on a shelf in my kitchen. When I had all of my flowers and stuff in my pantry, I used this, and it was great because you just take the lid off and you can just scoop really easily from here if you're making your recipes. You don't have to worry about a big mess. And they stack really nicely in your pantry. So I like to use these for our salad. I like to make a salad or 2 once a week, and if I make 2, then 1 can stay in the fridge, and 1 can, or outside in the fridge, and 1 can stay in the fridge inside, and we'll wait until the one inside's gone, and then we'll use the one outside, and that way it stays fresher that way. So this is fantastic for bread. If you put bread in here, I shouldn't say if, I should say when you put bread in here, because you guys, you have to make that bread recipe. It's so good and it's so easy. 4 ingredients, 5 if you're fancy. 5 if you're fancy. So it's just flour, salt, yeast, and water. One of the ingredients is water, guys. Gotta make this, it's so good. All right, when you make it, not if you make it, when you make it, you're gonna put everything in here. You're gonna stir it quickly together with your dough whisk. And then, it looks like my microphone that I'm speaking into. Then when it goes to rise, you let it rise on your on your counter for a little while. It's gonna rise pretty good, especially if you've got some good yeast going on. And you don't wanna seal this. Ask me how I know. You do not wanna seal this all the way, because if you do, literally this lid will go pow! It'll jump right off your countertop. So I just like to just burp one edge of it right there. And it'll grow. I mean, it will grow. It'll start to grow out, but it won't be too bad. You can just kind of, it's not that bad. So anyway, then once it's done its first rise on my counter, I do seal it and I put it in my refrigerator, and I can have it in there for up to 2 weeks, but it never lasts that long because we love bread. We're obsessed with bread. No oil. Yes, there's no oil in this. It's so crazy. I cannot believe how delicious this bread tastes for just 4 ingredients. And one's water. And I will say, the longer it sits in your refrigerator, the better it tastes, because it kind of gets like that sourdough kind of flavor. You guys, I want to go eat some bread now. Just talking about it. It's so good. We eat it all the time. And if you ever have leftover, like if you make too much of it in 1 week, like I do sometimes, I like to make it into, I cut it into cubes, and I'll shake it in a bag with some, I will shake it in a bag with some oil and some herbs and spices and stuff, and then I'll broil it and make the best, like the best croutons you've ever had in your life. They're so good. Okay. Hey Denise, are you talking about that bread dough? Yes, I'm talking about the bread. I know, I think I talk about it too much. It's a thing, but I love it so much. Okay, so this is the hook that Melissa was talking about. This is the Danish dough whisk. And I hate to call it a whisk, because when I think whisk, I think that these things are like really bendy. They're not. This thing is hard. Okay, and I get asked this all the time, the name of it, and it is Baker's Guild. Baker's Guild. And I'll put the link for it, my exact one. I went back into my order history on Amazon, and I found the exact one, and they've since sold a whole bunch, and the reviews are, I think that's a 5-star review with a couple of 100 or maybe even 1,000 reviews. Like, people love this thing. So, let me tell you, the other thing you're gonna need if you're meal prepping is your freezer bags. Grab yourself some freezer bags. Now, these are just Wegmans brand I grab really quickly, but I also have these on my Subscribe and Save for Amazon. So if you have Subscribe and Save, and I know you need like, what, 5 items to get the extra, I think 15% discount, throw some bags on there, because I will get a really good deal. I'll get a really good deal on Amazon if I get my bags on Amazon. I ran out. I didn't have enough. Clearly, I use them all the time. So I just grabbed some from the grocery store. But I will tell you this. This is my big secret right here. Get the one. Get the zipper. Get the zipper bag. Thank me later. You're already going to be saving money. And I know that it's a little bit more expensive, but you're already going to be saving money by not eating out. And you're also going to be saving money by buying in bulk. So spend a little bit more on the zipper, and you will be less likely, I mean, when it comes a little bit easier, things are easier and it goes smoother, you're going to be less likely to be like, forget this, I hate this. Meal prepping is too hard. If you make it easier on yourself, you'll be like, it's a breeze, it's no problem, right? Getting some good knives, that's a big thing, especially when all of your prep involves a lot of chopping. Some good knives, some good bags, just some, whatever you do, just get the good tools. It'll make life so much easier. And I mean, you're always going to eat, right? So you're going to be using these things for a long time. You might as well get the good stuff and not spend good money after bad. But these things aren't really even that expensive anyway. This was not bad. I want to say it was under $10. I can't remember. It was so long ago. These are super cheap also, like super cheap. And I just throw them in the dishwasher, in the top shelf, and they're perfect. And another thing I love is the bottom. They have this like rubberized gasket. It doesn't suction to my counter. I don't think it's supposed to suction. There's holes in there, but it does. It's pretty sturdy. It won't slide all around with your bag in there. Okay, so there's that. This looks like I'm creating a nice, lovely meal prep sculpture, right? Okay, did you say you got the container at Walmart? So this container, the dish container, I got this at Walmart, and I got 2 of them. They're so cheap. I want to say that they're $2 just to be on the safe side, but I think that they're really like $1.50 for this nice, strong, sturdy dish bin. So it's over like by the laundry and like kitchen supplies. Please don't fall. It's a Sterilite brand. I think they make like trash cans and all that kind of stuff. So I just stand them up and they fit perfectly in the side-by-side refrigerator freezer. Or are you talking about this bin? The bread bin or the dish bin? I don't know. I have a lot of bins. Can you use a mixer with a bread hook? Sure. Yep. I've done that before too. It's a really wet dough. So what I like to do is mix it in here because then I don't have to transfer it into anything else. I'm just dirtying this one container. But if you have like a lid or something that you could put on your mixer bowl, you could do that too. Or, I mean, you could mix with a wooden spoon. It's no big deal. So your mixer bowl, if you're going to do your bread in your mixer bowl and put a lid on top, make sure it's like a good sized mixer bowl. You're going to want something big. So this one, like I said, is 4 liters, 4 quarts, 4 liters. And it will start to grow outside of the lid. But you know how bread will like rise up really big and then it'll slow down, it'll calm back down? I don't know the right word for it. It'll shrink back down a little bit. That's what I count on for it to all fit in here. So it'll rise. It literally will do this. Okay, guys. It will like rise up like this. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to go over my counter. But then it just kind of like settles itself back down. And once it does that, I know that it's the yeast is kind of calming back down. And then at that point, I'll put it in my refrigerator. And I'll know it's ready to go. Let's see. Post a link, no spend in February. Okay, so I'll post the link and you can come back in March. Amazon has a 2-pack of that whisk for $10. That's awesome. I didn't know that they had a 2-pack. Wow. Thank you, Denise. I didn't know they had that. That's great. You could keep one for yourself and then maybe put one in like a little gift basket, or you can make a loaf of this bread and wrap it up all pretty and add this with it. And then maybe like the recipe. You guys, it's so simple. And I've made bread a lot. My grandmother used to make it a lot, and I was just obsessed with it. So I like to make bread a lot. And of all the recipes I've made, of all of the cookbooks I have about how to make bread, this is my favorite. And it's only 4 ingredients and 1's water. It's so weird. Like, why do I love this one the most? It just, to me, it just tastes best, especially when it's coming right out of the oven. And if you cannot wait for it to cool, which I cannot. I mean, come on. Who wants cooled bread? We all want hot bread. If you can't wait for it to cool before you slice it, as you know, it's kind of hard to slice, use an electric cutter, an electric knife, if you have that. It'll make it so that you don't mash down your bread. But the longer you can wait, the better, because it's going to be able to give the bread a chance to kind of set up and not get mashed down, because you want all those nooks and crannies for all the butter to just... You guys, I need to go make more bread right now. I have a thing with bread. Okay. Oh, you were saying the bread bin. Okay, so the bread bin, I got this at probably like 300 years ago. I got this at BJ's. I don't even know. Wait, Sam's Club? What do they have in Texas? I think it was Sam's Club when we lived in Texas. But I have found it. These are on Amazon, and these are Rubbermaid. Can you see that? They're Rubbermaid. So they're Rubbermaid, and they're 4-quart. And like I said again, if you grab them, or if they only have them like in the 4-pack, get the 4-pack because you'll use them. You'll definitely use them because they stack perfectly in your refrigerator. They're more for like commercial kitchens, but they're awesome. I've used these for like I've rinsed a bunch of grapes and they all fit in here. I mean, this thing is huge. And then the kids can just like grab the grapes from them throughout the week. I use it for bread all the time. I use 2 a week for salads, and that way one stays fresh for the end of the week. I've also used these for, I was saying in the pantry, I've used these for storing flour, which is great because you can literally just take your measuring cup and just huge scooping area, and then you're not making a big mess on your counter. You know, like the ones I have now where like the opening to the flour is like this big and you're like trying not to make a mess. Yeah. I think I might go back to these because they're so much more convenient when you're baking. So it's good for, sugar, and the seal is awesome. It's the Rubbermaid seal, so you get a nice airtight seal. You're not going to get like ants trying to get into your sugar and your flour. All right, so I think that they sell these in a 4-pack. I think they do. And if you see them in a 4-pack and you see them in a 1-pack, get the 4-pack. Because you'll be like, if you didn't, you'll be like, I have found 18 other ways I could have used this bin in my kitchen. So convenient. I think I've used it for like storing potatoes, like everything. Oh, this is also great if you host like Christmas or Thanksgiving. You can do tons of prep beforehand, store it in here. It's so big. You can do so much with this. It's awesome. Hey, Colleen, thank you for coming in. It looks huge though for the fridge. So Laura, I've had this for years. I've had the 4-pack for years, and I've had a side-by-side fridge where it's like side-by-side all the way down, not like the pull-out freezer on the bottom. Side-by-side all the way down. And I've had the regular refrigerator like I had growing up, where it's like freezer on the top, refrigerator on the bottom. And then now I have the side-by-side and the pull-out drawer on the bottom, and the pull-out drawer for like lunch meats and like sodas and stuff. This thing fits everywhere. It fits in everything. It looks really big. Maybe if I put it next to my big head, it won't look as big. But it's big, but it fits. It fits. It's a good thing. Oh, thank you, Denise. Thank you, Colleen. Colleen, we were just talking about you in our house the other day, actually. I'll tell you, it's all good. It's all good. I'll tell you about it. I'll DM you and tell you about it. So anyway, these are all my tools I use, and I'm not meal prepping this week. Laura, that's what I have. What do you have? You have the bin? You have the bin, Laura? The Rubbermaid? Yay! These things are awesome. I love the handles too. They're great. I've also used them for dog treats. It fits in our dog treat drawer, and it keeps them nice and fresh too. And since our dog likes a lot of treats, it's nice because it fits a ton of them. Okay. So again, I'm not meal prepping this week because I've gotten to that easy week because I have meal prepped my butt off for 5 weeks, and I have tons and tons and tons of meals stocked in my freezer because when I make them, I make 5 meals a week. And you're like, how do you have extra if you're doing 5 meals a week? Because when I make them, I will like double, triple, quadruple the meals and stick them in the freezer for a week such as this. And I physically cannot meal prep this week because I won't have any room for it. My freezer is so packed. It's a lot. And the last time I did this, where I had a free week, was Christmas. Perfect timing. My refrigerator, my freezer was packed. Couldn't get anything else in there, and I'm like, easy week, no more meal prep, done. So it's so convenient. If you meal prep, you're gonna give yourself a week of free cooking. You do not have to cook. And if you have the Instant Pot, makes your life even easier, because what I'm gonna do is, like, for instance, let me show you this one. One moment, please. My library of dinners. This is our split pea soup. I made this in January. This is gonna go, I'm gonna dump this whole thing into the Instant Pot with some water, because I already have the, if you can see up there, I already have the veggie stock in there, with some water. And I'm gonna push a button and dinner's gonna be done. So that's gonna give me more time that if I'm gonna make some bread with it, I have more time to take a loaf of or take a hunk of the dough and put it on, excuse me, put it on a pan and pop it in the oven. And then dinner's done. And we have homemade bread and homemade soup in like just a couple of minutes. And then cleanup is just going to be the Instant Pot and my ladle to get it out of there. Because this is still gonna have tons more dough in there, and I'll just take like a, what size? Like a grapefruit size of bread. I'll like scoop it up with 2 hands, and then I flour my hands first because it's kind of wet, and I kind of fold it up under itself a little bit. And that grapefruit size piece of dough, I let it rise for a little bit on the counter, and then it'll, you know, of course, rise even more in the oven. It'll grow into like a nice big size bread bowl like you see in Panera. It's great. It's great. Hey, Rebecca. Happy Monday. You guys, Rebecca's going to be on later on tonight. She's going to be doing a Make It Monday. So go follow her so you can see what she's up to tonight. I can't wait to see this. She always has the most creative ideas, and she's hilarious to watch. So go follow Rebecca at Two Hearts Desire. She's awesome. Hey, Kim. Hi. I need that Instant Pot. I'll be doing more than pushing a button tonight. Oh, Kim, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, girl. But that Instant Pot, oh my gosh, it is like the best money I've spent. And I got it by accident. I'll tell you guys really quickly how I got it. My good friend bought a couple of them for, I don't know, like Christmas presents and things like that. And when she went to give them, they already had the Instant Pot because everybody's obsessed with the Instant Pot. And she was like, Sarah, do you have one? Thinking I probably already had like 10 of them. And I didn't have one yet. Because you guys, I am like the opposite of an early adopter. I need to see everybody else around me buy it. I need to see how it works. And I need to see everybody else complain about what's wrong with it. And then I'll make a decision if I'm going to buy it or not. I'm always like, I'll just sit back here and I'll watch and see if you guys like it or not. If it's worth spending my money. I can't stand to be like, I gotta, no, I need to see if it's worth my money. I'm so skeptical. And you guys, do you see up here all my oils? I was so skeptical. It's like what, 2018? And I'm just now like, oh, essential oils. Oh my God, they're amazing. They've been around for like ever. So anyway, I need to see that they're legit. I need to see that it's a good thing. And the Instant Pot, it's good stuff. I'm here to say it's good stuff. And Denise, you know it too. You know that the Instant Pot is good stuff. Denise, you just used yours for French onion soup, right? Did I see that right? Okay. I'm missing all kinds of stuff here, you guys. Ah! Okay, so Kim, get the Instant Pot. I promise you will love it. And if you have any questions about it, you can ask me. And I have tons of recipes that you can stick in there if you need. Okay. Melissa, I definitely need to do this. I'm so bad about planning, but then everything takes too long, so I don't make it. I know, girlfriend. Let me tell you. I started this whole meal prepping thing, and I gotta take a drink because I'm like, you guys, I can talk forever. And some of you guys are on here who know me personally, and you know that I don't shut up. Like, I talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Okay. I started meal prepping when my kids were babies because it was like necessity. We moved from the East Coast to nowhere, Texas. It was nowhere, Texas. It was nowhere. Like, there's nothing around. Like, I think it was like a 40-minute drive to Target. So we had no extra help. We had like no family members or anything that could come over and help. And we had these babies and it was just us. And it's kind of stressful. So I learned really quickly that if I would meal prep, it just made things go so much smoother. And I was like, I've got the freezer space, I might as well just do it. If I'm making one pot of spaghetti, I might as well just double it, make a huge pot of spaghetti, and then, like I said, I didn't have these. I had my blender. Then I'd put the bag down in my blender, and I would pour the sauce down into my blender bag. And it just started from there. And every single time I end up meal prepping, I'm always like, oh my God, it's such a big mess. It's such a huge pain in the butt to do. But then the rest of the week, I thank myself. Like every night, I'm like, thank you, Monday, Sarah. Thank you for meal prepping. Thank you. It makes life so much easier. Yes, plus Rebecca is adorable. She's so cute to watch. And her laugh is very addicting. It's funny. Okay, Melissa. Oh, and Teddy's in here joining me. He's like, I smell food. And Melissa says, I've had my Instant Pot for a couple years. It is handy. Yes. And Melissa, you're also, are you vegan or are you vegetarian? Because all the dinners that I have on my plan, they're all vegetarian. And at first I was thinking, I don't know if the Instant Pot's going to work for me too well because I'm not making, you know, like these big roasts in my Instant Pot. And that's what I thought that it was mainly for, was to kind of just, you know, tenderize these big meats. But no, it comes in handy. I don't care if you're having meats or grains, or I think this is quinoa right here, soups, beans, everything. I swear, this is not an Instant Pot commercial. It's not an Instant Pot commercial. And by the way, how many of you who own the Instant Pot cringe when you hear people call it Instapot? I'm like, stop! It's Instant Pot. Okay. Me too. Oh, Rebecca said it. She said Instapot. You can't say Instapot. It's instant. Instant Pot. Okay, you need an Instant Pot, Rebecca. Denise, I'm still on the fence with the oils. Don't be on the fence. My only regret with them is not grabbing them earlier. And I won't make this an oil commercial either. But do some Googling. Check it out. I'm telling you, the good stuff. Good stuff. And I don't want to sound like I was worried that I would sound like a nut, almost like a crazy person. Like, these oils are so great. They are. Now here I am saying these oils are so great. They're so helpful. And the first one that got me in was lavender. I almost said vanilla. Lavender was the first one. So, don't be on the fence with the oils. You guys know, man. They're good stuff. Okay, I jump on the bandwagon and then turn skeptical. So you buy it first and then you get skeptical about it. That's what I'm so afraid of. I don't want to spend the money and then be like, man, now I can't return it. Oh, okay, so Denise did 10 hours with her instant, did you hear that, Rebecca? Instant Pot. Because you can also use it as a slow cooker, which comes in really handy when you're making homemade French onion soup. And I swear, I was watching Denise's Insta stories. That's when you can say Insta stories. And I was like, I could almost smell it through my screen. It looks so good. Yes, Nowhere, Texas. Rebecca, I miss Nowhere, Texas. I miss that place. It was good stuff. Colleen lived in Nowhere, Texas also. Thank you, Monday, Sarah. And you could say, thank you, Monday, Colleen. And Colleen, your girls could do this for you. You could even say, thank you, Monday girls. They could do it for you. Vegetarian and recently went more vegan. Okay, so yeah, vegan and vegetarian would work with the Instant Pot too, which you probably already know. Monday, Sarah needs to talk with Monday, Rebecca. Yes, Monday, Rebecca. You need an instant pot, and you need some bag holders, and you need, well, you already have this, your dough hook. These are all my tools. You need your bread bin, and you need This is my meal prepping sculpture I'm creating here. Your freezer bags with the zipper. Don't forget the zipper. And you need your containers for your toppings. And if you're feeling fancy, you could even get your divided containers. Can you see this? Your divided containers. And you need your trash bowl, Monday Rebecca. You need all these goodies. Okay. I'm being so obnoxious, am I not? Is it worth it to cook rice and beans? Oh, it's worth it. Yes. Yeah, even if you're just doing rice and beans. My good friend, the one that I got the Instant Pot from, she cooks with beans all the time. She's also vegetarian, and she uses hers. She'll put her beans in and like dry beans, and she'll soak them, and then she'll put it on the timer so that they can soak for however long, and then it just starts cooking them after they've soaked for I think like overnight or something. And then she also uses hers to make yogurt, which I have not made yogurt yet in mine. I don't think I've made yogurt yet, but I've heard it's really good. I've heard it works out good. Yeah, Instabot. Hey, Lisa. I'm just kidding with you, Rebecca. It's funny. I hear it. Everybody says it that way. And when I say it, I catch myself because I say it so quickly. It sounds like I'm saying Instapot. Instapot. Okay, so yeah, it's funny. I don't know why. I don't know why that's funny to me. Okay. Stay oily. Lisa, I know you like the oils too. It was well worth the time because the soup is amazing. Oh my gosh, when you just concentrate all of that like fresh onion flavor and it gets like, it's almost like caramelized and yum. Oh, you definitely need to make your bread with that French onion soup. What did you put on top? Did you do the crouton on top? So good. Oh my gosh. Okay. I need the bread bin. Yes. Grab them in, I think they're in the 4-pack. Grab them in the 4-pack because then you won't be sorry. I promise you, you'll use it. Even if, I'm trying to think if I've ever frozen anything in here. I've frozen things in here. I've frozen, I think, soups or something. So it works out in the freezer too. You will use it. You'll find like a zillion reasons to use a bin like that. Okay. Lisa, you win the prize! Lisa says, wait, what happened to the blue paint? I was just double checking to make sure I didn't have any paint on my hands because I've been so busy, you guys. This weekend was so busy. This room was cotton candy blue. Did anybody see my I think my last Facebook Live and my Insta stories? So this room was our gym. I sound so fancy, like we have a gym. No, it's just like it's a den, and we were using it as a gym. We had some weights and a treadmill and a bench and just a couple other things in here. And the problem was it's on the first floor, over top of a basement, and for some reason, whenever someone would be on the treadmill, like the whole house would like rumble almost just from the treadmill, just boom, 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 boom. Mama doesn't like that. So we moved the treadmill down to the basement. We had a nice little beautiful space to turn into a gym in the basement. And then, so now we have this empty room off of our living room. So I turned it into my office because my office before was like the sitting room in our master bedroom, and I'm over it. So this was cotton candy blue from the previous owners, and God love them, they loved blue. They loved cotton candy blue, and that was the color of our laundry room also. Some people love it, some people don't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it. I need like a calming color. And for some reason, I'm looking on the screen here, it looks darker than the paint color I did. It's actually lighter in here than what it looks like on here. Maybe because like this white, I don't know. It's much lighter than it looks. But as soon as I was done, I almost passed out from paint fumes because it's like 2 degrees outside, and I tried not to keep the windows open too much. But as soon as I was done, I was like, wow, wow, maybe I was high on paint. But I was like, oh, it's so much better in here. It's just so much more calming and soothing. So here's my new office. I'm excited. And I don't meal prep in here. So this is probably like one of the only times you might see it. I don't know. Unless I come back in front of the light. Okay. Wait a minute. You guys, I thought that I missed comments when I was meal prepping because I would be meal prepping and my hands were busy. No, it's because I chat like crazy. Where was I at? Okay. Bread bin, blue paint. Oh, no crouton because you're doing the Whole30. Yes. Okay, so Melissa's gonna come back after No Spend February and grab the dough hook. And then Denise is gonna come back after Whole30 and make the bread. So you guys come back. Yes, I'm in my office and I love it. This used to be the toy shelf in the basement where the kids had all their toys, zillions of toys. But they're at that really awesome age where they really are kind of done with all the little teeny tiny toys. And I gotta say, thank goodness we didn't get sucked into the whole Tsum Tsum phase. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because I have a feeling that my kids would want every single one. So between, I think it was Littlest Pet Shop and Hot Wheels. I don't know what else. There's a whole bunch of stuff. We had to go through and we got rid of a bunch. So now we're down to like, I think, Legos and Xbox. So I'm hoping to pare down our Legos a little more too. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I got rid of that blue paint. Some people like the blue paint. Yeah, the blue is gone. Grayish, and I'm painting it gray. That's funny. And I know that like there's a massive gray following. And I love gray in other people's homes, but for some reason it just doesn't work in my house. Like when it comes to the rest of my furniture, it just, for some reason, it's not working for me. But I've seen gray in some of your homes and it's beautiful. It just doesn't work for my house for some reason. I don't know why. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, but I was so glad to have it done. Because now I feel like I can start moving stuff in here. And the paint is dry and I'm no longer getting high off of paint fumes. Okay. Already looking for the bread bin. I will post, I'll post a link for you because I know I saw it on there. They were out of stock for a while when I first started talking about it, I think last year. And then I think that they're back. I can't remember. I gotta double check. But either way, it's the Rubbermaid. And it's good stuff. I'm so boring that grayish is too much color. Grayish is too much color? That's funny. You guys are too much. Okay, so that's that. I'm not meal prepping this week because I have a ton of meals already set up and my freezer can't handle anymore. And I hope this table doesn't fall over because that thing is so full. So, if you're gonna meal prep, grab this bin. If you don't have the hook, you don't need the hook, it makes it easier. You could use a wooden spoon. These babies, you know I love these things. Excuse me. The bag holders are fantastic. Grab yourself some freezer bags and go for it. And the really cool thing about meal prepping, especially since I have them all already like lined up, the meals ahead of time, I will plug them into my calendar ahead of time, and then when I go to BJ's, I already know, like, okay, over the next month, we're gonna have rice, what, I don't know, 10 times. So I'll know I need this much rice, and I'll be able to stock up on rice, stock up on flour, stock up on beans, stock up on, what else? I'm sure that you can get, oh, the other thing I get from BJ's. I get it all mixed up because every time we move somewhere, it's like a different one. You can get these at Costco too. Are the lasagna pan, the lasagna trays and pans, fantastic. And the pie pans that I use for the quiche. So you can stock up on those too, and then you end up saving money because you're not buying like 1 or 2 at a time at the grocery store. I'll buy like a stack of, I think, 20 of them, and it's way cheaper Way cheaper to buy them that way instead of one at a time at the grocery store. Or you could also grab them on Amazon on the subscribe and save. That's what I do with the freezer bags, like I was saying. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. And I'm off to go make some homemade bread and some pea soup for dinner on this cold day, cold night. And I'm not going to be meal prepping this week. So if you see my Insta stories with dinner time, it's going to be some of these that are already done. It's awesome. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. So go make yourself a meal plan and hit the store and meal prep, even if it's just one meal that you're making like 2 or 3 of. And then that way you can just start building up your supply in your freezer. And then before you know it, you'll have like a whole week where you don't have to cook. Right here. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out, and I will see you later. All right, bye.